Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to show you how to fix when controller is not working with WWE 2K22 game on your Windows computer. Now the first step is to restart your computer. Now do not ignore this step. This has worked for many users, so it might work for you. So just restart your computer, and after the system restart, launch the game and then check your controller. Now the next step is to exit the game. So if the game is running, close the game and then turn off your controller, and then again turn on your controller and then connect to your computer and then launch the game. Now the next step is to unplug mouse and keyboard. Now this has worked for many players, so it might work for you. So try to unplug the mouse and keyboard and check if controller is working or not, and then you can go ahead and connect the keyboard and mouse back if you want. Now also unplug all the USB devices such as headset. If you have headset or headphone connected, you can disconnect it. Disconnect all the additional joysticks, hotas, wheel, Razer software. Disconnect all the additional USB adapter connected to the computer. So disconnect all the external devices and then launch the game and then check. Now the next step is to press Alt plus Enter key. So once you launch the game, press Alt plus Enter on the keyboard and then check. Now the next step is to launch the Steam in big picture mode and then launch the game. Now this has worked for many players. So go to Steam. On the top right here you can see big picture mode. Click on it. Now you can go to library and then you can launch the game from here. So click on the game and launch the game and then check the controller. You can also go to game and then find the game in the list, and then you can go ahead and launch the game. Now the next step is to change screen refresh rate to 60 Hz. For this, go to start menu and then click on settings. For Windows 11 users, the steps are same. So launch the settings, then go to system and then click on display and then click on advanced display settings, and then here you can see refresh rate. So you can go ahead and select 60 Hz. So if it is 144 or 48, select 60 Hz and then launch the game and then check. Now this has worked for many players, so it might work for you. Now the next step is to launch the game in window mode using the config file. So to get the config file, open File Explorer and then go to Documents and then open WWE 2K22 folder. Here you can see this config file. Make a right click, then click on Open With and then Open With Notepad. Scroll down at the end. Here you can see window is equal to no. So you can just remove no and then type in yes. So for window, type in yes and then click on File, then click on Save. Now launch the game. Now this has worked for many players, so it might work for you. So try this. Now the next step is to turn on Steam overlay. For this, make a right click on the game and then select properties. And if this option is unchecked, which says enable the Steam overlay while in game, check it and then launch the game. Now the next step is to configure the controller. For this, go to Steam. On the top left here you can see Steam. Click on it, then click on settings. Now go to controller tab and then click on general controller settings. Now if you have Xbox controller, put a check on Xbox controller and then launch the game. If you have PlayStation controller, then put a check on PlayStation configuration support and then launch the game. So configure your controller and then launch the game. Now the next step is to select high performance in graphics settings. So type in graphics settings in Windows search box and then click on graphics settings. Now click on browse. Now go to C drive. In your case, the game may be installed in C drive. So wherever the game is installed, go to that folder. So I'm showing if it is installed in C drive. So select C drive, then open program files x86, then open the Steam folder, then open the Steam apps folder, and then open the common folder. Over here you will find the game folder. In my case, it's in D drive. So open Steam library, then Steam apps, then common, and then open WWE 2K22 game folder. Select the game exe file from here and then click on add. Now once the game is added over here, click on options, select high performance, then click on save and then launch the game. Now the next step is to uncheck controller in Steam controller setting. Now this has also worked for many players, so try this. So go to Steam, on the top click on Steam, then click on settings, go to controller tab, then click on general controller settings, and then uncheck all. So uncheck all the controller, all the configuration support from here, and then launch the game. Now the next step is to disable and enable Steam input. So for this, make a right click on the game on Steam, then select properties, and then go to controller tab, and then here you can see use default settings is selected. So click on this drop down option and then select disable Steam input first. Now select it. Now launch the game. Launch the game. Still you are facing the problem, then this time go to properties once again, go to controller, and this time select enable Steam input and check. Now launch the game and check which one is working fine for you. Now the next step is to launch the game, launch the Steam in big picture mode once again. So on the top right, click on the big picture mode icon, then click on continue. Now go to library and then select the game, click on the game, or you can go to games and then you will find your game, and then click on manage game. Now click on controller option and then select forced on. So by default global settings would be selected, so you can go ahead and select forced on, then click on OK. Now launch the game. If that does not work, go to controller options once again. This time select forced off and then click on OK, and now launch the game. Now the next step is to use DS4 Windows. So for this you can go to Google and then find DS4 Windows software, download it, install it, and then type in DS4. Launch this DS4 exe file. Click on yes. Now go to settings and then put a check on the box which says hide DS4 controller. Put a check over here first and then launch the game and then check. Now the next step is to use wired controller. So if Bluetooth wireless controller is not working, you can turn off Bluetooth, and then if wired controller is available, you can connect the controller using USB cable and then check. So one of the steps should help you to get your controller working with WWE 2K22 game on your computer. So that'll be all. Thank you so much for your time, and please like this video and subscribe to my channel.